Hi everyone, it's Jon Adams here from Hope Church. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you've had a good week so far, and I hope that your weeks continue to be great. This video is just following up from what I preached on Sunday. And on Sunday I preached from 1 Thessalonians 4 through to 1 Thessalonians 5. And I preached on the part of that passage which is about the hope we have in the prospect of our returning King. And if you were there, I hope you enjoyed it. The message really that I focused on first of all how Jesus is the anchor of our hope. So yes, we have a hope which is a future hope based on things which are going to come about, the facts of the future as I called them. But actually that hope, those facts are actually based in something historic. And they're based in the fact that Jesus has done it himself. He said he was the resurrection and the life. He brought other people back from the dead, and he himself died and, of course, was resurrected. And we can read accounts, historical accounts of how he came back from the dead, was resurrected, and ascended into heaven. And so when we think about the end times, when we think about maybe the end of our lives, or when the end of all things comes about, it's not just a hope based on what we think is going to happen. The Bible does tell us what's going to happen, but also there is a sense in which we've seen evidence of it to a certain extent already in Jesus' victory and in that first returning from the dead that he's already accomplished. So that was my first point. Jesus has done it. Jesus is the evidence for it. My second point, I guess, as I moved through, I sort of went through verse by verse of the passage, and I summed up by calling it the 4 R's. So the rest of the passage teaches that Jesus will return, that will be quite a moment, that there will be trumpets, there'll be a loud call of God, that Jesus will return. The second thing is that there will be a reconciling, and there will be a judgment, and if you like. And that part isn't preached so much in 1 Thessalonians, but of course is preached elsewhere in the Bible, and it would be wrong to sort of not include it here. The third R is that there will be resurrection bodies for us. And so we will be part of that, whether if we're dead at that point, we will be resurrected. If we're alive at that point, our bodies will be transformed into our resurrected bodies. That's what it says in 1 Corinthians 15. So there's a return of the King. There's a reconciling before God. There's a resurrection body for us. And then the fourth R was there are the eternal rewards for us. We will live with God in our new heaven and new earth. So that's what we've looked at on Sunday. And I really hope that the passion of that and the excitement of that came across. And also the reasons why that should give us hope today, here in 2021, as we await that glorious and exciting and knee-trembling moment, really, and how wonderful that will be. My questions for you really are threefold. First question I've got for you is how would you describe yourself when it comes to things to do with end times? Would you describe yourself as an enthusiast, or would you describe yourself as a shrinking violet? And what's your evidence for that? So I almost want by enthusiast, I mean, are you someone that's really into this, talks about it, learns about it? Or are you a bit more a shrinking violet, someone that tends to avoid it a little bit, knows something about it, but doesn't particularly centre on it? That's my first question. Just share with each other how you would talk about yourself. The second thing probably involves a little bit of Bible study. And I've got a couple of passages for you here. So Matthew 25, 31 to 40 talks about judgment. 1 Corinthians 15, 35 to 58 talks about our resurrection body. And Revelation 21 talks about our new destination, that new heaven and earth. Why don't you just take a few minutes to look at those passages? And I just want to ask you, in your groups, what is it that you most look forward to about those, about that end time, about what we will experience? when you look at those three passages, what is it you're most looking forward to? What is it that really whets your appetite and gets you excited? And then my third question, presuming you've had time, would be to just have a think and just pray for one another in terms of, do these truths give you hope today? I really hope they do. I mean, in the Bible, it certainly relates the thought of things that are to come as being the Christian's hope for today. And the more I've thought about this, the more I've thought, you know what? Our hope for the future should be based in the fact of what's going to happen, but also in the fact that we trust God that he's going to take us there. And so just share openly with one another. When you think about the return of Jesus, the judgment, our resurrection bodies, our future with him, does it really give you hope today? There's no right or wrong answers here. For those of you that do, it's fantastic. Let's thank God for that. If there's some of you that don't and just feel, do you know what? All feels a bit airy-fairy or in the distance to me, then just share that with the group. We're not here to judge each other. And let's pray in our groups for those people as well, that they would really experience God's hope for them today, and that God would somehow help people feel that hope today based on those facts that are to come. So those are my questions for you. I hope it's a really special time for you in your small groups, and God bless you. Take care.